China is the world's largest importer of oil. A bunch of their oil comes from Iran. So it's no surprise that all of a sudden that whole area, what it's done is this is basically throwing an anchor out, and it's massively slowing down and pulling down the manufacturing sector. But it was already struggling because it's struggling because of liberation and the tariffs. So you're taking one of the largest economies, I believe the second largest economy in the world, and you're slowing it down even more, which, starts to push us closer to that global recession. So as we go through this, I want to make something really clear. I want you to be aware of these things, and I want you to understand them. And then we're going to take some action on them, and we're going to protect ourselves, and we're going to look for opportunities. This sounds a little doom and gloom because it is if it goes on and turns into a forever war, but I don't think it's going to be that way. But we've got to go through the doom and gloom before we can get to like some actual things that we can do. Beyond just fuel, we've got a massive disruption in helium, which is a critical byproduct of natural gas refining that's also being throttled by this Iran conflict. So that's beginning to paralyze chip manufacturing in Taiwan. Wait a second. What is one of the biggest booms for the US economy right now?
Booms? AI?
AI. What do these AI data centers have to be able to be built out? They've got to be able to make that massive CapEx expenditure, and all those chips come from Taiwan. I mean, of course, we're trying to build them in Arizona, but TSMC and, NVIDIA, they work together, and most of that's coming out of Taiwan currently. If Taiwan's not getting their helium, some of the largest CapEx expenditure that's currently powering our GDP and keeping it positive because the consumer's not holding up their end of the bargain goes away, which causes the US to slow down. Oh, what this does is this starts to create that global stagflationary trap where prices rise while growth is disappearing, leaving the world's two largest economies, the US and China, both starting to just sink or go into a downward spiral. To mitigate this collapse, you've got to look at the numbers. So China's primary lung for Iranian energy, they were absorbing 90% of Iran's total exports, roughly 1.4 million barrels per day. And this relationship isn't just a market preference, it's a survival mechanism for both of these nations. It's cemented by a $400 billion 25-year strategic partnership that allows China to buy Iranian crude at a massive discount at $8 to $10 per barrel. Well, when the strait is closed, that discounted lifeline is forcing China to supplement in the global market where prices have skyrocketed. Quick countdown. China basically has 104 days its own strategic stockpile of oil.
Dang.
No, all that stuff is stopping. Now, of course, they're still sneaking some through, but you got...
Like on the ships?
On the ships, maybe other routes, maybe they sneak them through and don't shoot something at them. There's reportedly like a whole fleet of tankers that don't turn on their beacons. They fly different flags.
Someone needs to start a YouTube channel over there on the Strait of Hormuz on the safer side and just like have a camera looking at what is going through there.
Bingo. So they've got 104 days. Understand though, this is not just a Chinese problem. This is a global supply chain problem. This is a heart attack problem, because what happens is if the US slows down, if we have to raise rates, or the European Central Bank or Japan's bank or China's bank has to raise rates, this whole recovery from COVID comes off the rails. So we already have the supply shocks. This is a secondary supply shock.